Hey YouTube, I'm making this video because when I bought my new Canyon Ultimate, I wasn't sure how I was going to get my Wahoo installed. So I'm going to take you through what I did to get the Wahoo Elemnt set up on my Ultimate with the included Garmin mount from Canyon and attach the K-EDGE GoPro mount at the bottom, which I already had. I use it for GoPro as well as my light for early morning rides. So let's get started. When the GoPro mount comes and you put it on, it's going to be in this orientation with the cup and screws being fore and aft. The way that the Wahoo mount works is it's actually a 90-degree turn. So you can easily remove the screws, turn it, put the screws back in from the bottom, and it should work fine. Just as a side note, when you actually put it in for the first time, you have to wear out a little bit of the edge there and there on the cup. So when you put the Wahoo Elemnt in the first about 5 or 6 times, it's a little stiff going in and stiff coming out. But once you do that 5 or 6 times, it actually wears out and it works pretty well. The next issue to overcome is when the cup is in this position closest to the bars and you actually put the device in, it has a tendency to hit the mount right here and right there. And that's just because of the size of the unit. You might be able to see some markings on it right there and right there because I was forcing it in the first 2 or 3 rides that I did. So what I wanted to do was I actually wanted to move the cup into the furthest position, which would give me more clearance to be able to put the unit in. Now, the problem with doing this is that the way that the mount works right now, there are no holes in this position in the orientation that the Wahoo needs. What I had to do was actually drill some holes. So I took a thumbtack, put it through the holes in this orientation, and then when you remove it, you'll be able to see where those holes are. The holes that I drilled was this one and that one. I just found the right drill bit size, drilled the hole. If you look at it from the bottom, you'll see that there are recesses on the screw holes here. Now, the 2 that I drilled, this one and that one, I did not put recesses in. If I was not going to be using my GoPro mount, I would probably figure out a way to put those recesses in. But what I'm going to show you is how my GoPro mount was able to let me get around that. You don't have to put the recesses in or find recessed screws. You could actually just do flat head screws, but it's a little bit cleaner look. So I'll show you what I did. The screws that come with it are these 6mm screws, and all of them are with a 3mm pitch. So if you ever need to buy new screws like I did, just know that going in, it'll save you a little bit of time. So what I wanted to do was I actually wanted to use this GoPro mount from K-EDGE that I had before. And so what I needed to do was find a set of tapered screws that could go through this, fit flush, go through the holes in the Garmin mount, and go into the threaded cup that's provided by Canyon. This is a little bit different from the one I was coming from, because the one I was coming from was this K-EDGE unit here. And with the K-EDGE unit, the cup itself doesn't actually have any threads. So it's easy to move and rotate any way I wanted to. The threads are actually on the K-EDGE unit itself. So just as a word of note, you cannot reuse this cup in the Canyon Garmin mount because there's no place to attach the screws. You could find some nuts, but that's not really a clean solution that I didn't want to do. So just so you know, the K-EDGE cups, because they do not have threads, will not fit in the Canyon unit itself. I found some 12mm screws, and what that allowed me to do is actually put those tapered screws through the GoPro mount, through the Garmin unit from Canyon, and up into the cup with the threads. And this allowed me to use tapered screws without any problem because this unit itself is tapered. And then those go into here without protruding through the holes. So I'll show you what that looks like. So here you can see those 12mm screws going up through the GoPro K-EDGE mount, going through the Garmin unit into the provided cup, and you can see that they don't protrude through, and I'm in that position that I wanted to. So with that in place, this slides on just fine, and there is no contact whatsoever with the mount itself. Now, the only downside of using the included cup is that unlike a traditional Wahoo mount, this cup, because it's designed for Garmin, although it does click into place just fine, it will rotate 360 degrees in both directions, clockwise and counterclockwise. Now, this is not really that big of an issue, except for when you're actually riding the bike. If you're anything like me and you go to press the button, I used to not have to support the other side because the unit itself would not twist in the clockwise direction. Now I have to hold it if I want to press the up or down buttons so that it doesn't actually twist on me while I'm riding. But other than that, this works really well. And as you can see, there's no contact whatsoever with the mount, and it works pretty seamlessly. So if you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comment section below.